All right, lads. So first of all, we got the second section of the November Rain solo, and then we've got a couple of little oddball chords. And remember, we're not using the chord diagrams for this. We're using our heads. Okay. So that's how I want you thinking about this stuff in future. Okay. It's not looking stuff up. It's using your understanding of how music works to figure this stuff out for yourself. Okay. That's very, very important. Because then once you have that, you can do whatever you want. Right. Seriously, it really is that simple, but you got to put in the work first to get that understanding. So we'll do the solo first, and then we'll talk about those chords, right? So here we go. So this is the second section. Now most of the first bit of the second section is the same as the first, but then it gets a little bit different. So we'll go through it. So we're coming up again with the slide or bend, whichever. The slide is probably a bit cleaner for now, but whichever you like. So we're coming up. Here's where it gets different. So that's as far as we'll go for now, okay? So again, here we go. So we got the slide. Now watch what happens here. Pick, hammer, pull, coming back up on the 5th fret of the 3rd string down, hitting this string on the 3rd fret, and then sliding up to that same note again. So you're sliding up from the 5th fret up to the 8th fret, okay? All right, so one more time. Slide it up. Now, when you're here, up here, right, what we have to do now, so we'll just stop short of that. So we're going 8th fret on the E string, 7th fret on the, what's called the A string. So what we're doing here is we're getting these two fingers right here, then the 3rd finger comes in and does a little pull off here. And you come up on that 8th fret on the E string, okay? So you got get that in there. So you've got 8 and 8 frets here, okay? Hit it, drag it off, and come up with the pleck onto the E string. Okay, you don't need to do that fast, but it's just, and so on, right? But we'll leave that a little bit out. That's the next section, okay? One more time. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Now, so we had two new chords in there, right, for the second section where it gets all dark and the rain actually comes in, right? So the first one was A flat. Now we went through the chromatic scale there a little for a little bit, right? So we've got an A note here. So right now we're talking about notes, not chords, all right? But we'll get onto that. So we've got A. There's A sharp, B, and C. Okay. Now, A sharp means one up from A, right? But what about one down from B? So there's a B note. One down from B is B flat. So that means A sharp, B flat are the same thing. Okay. So that was B flat. So what about A flat? Well, here's an A note here. Oops. We'll go down, there's an A flat, okay? So there's G, one up from G is G sharp. There's A, one down from A is A flat. G sharp, A flat are the same thing, okay? Now, so we don't have an A flat chord shape necessarily, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a shape of another major chord. And remember, it's chord of A flat, We're not saying what type it is, so that means it's A flat major. Okay, that's the chord we're dealing with. So what other major chord do we know that's maybe a little bit below that we could take up, right? So I'll show you one idea that's probably not the best idea, but it gets the point across. So remember, you know the way G sharp is the same as A flat, right? So what if we took our G chord, played it like that? In other words, play it without your first finger. Now we can't just bring it up like that, because look, we've left this string behind. We still got a G note on this string. Sounds kind of nice, but that's not right. This is what we need. These were brought up by 1 fret, so this one needs to be brought up by 1 fret as well. So there's an A flat chord, or G sharp, same thing, okay? So maybe that's a little bit on the awkward side, right? So another option we have is, let's say we take F, and again, do it without your first finger. F, and we're looking for G sharp or A flat. It doesn't really matter what we call it, right? It's on the book, on the sheet, it's A flat, but we'll just call it G sharp, just to keep it simple, okay? So, F. Now, we got a bar. There's 2 open strings here, and we need to bar both of them to take both of them up a string. So you can bar the whole thing if you like, but really we only need this one, because this string, of course, is taken care of by that one. So that's F major, F sharp major, G major. So there's another G, right? There's G, and there's the normal one. Okay? So, nope. G, and then finally G sharp major. Okay? Now, so you know the way B flat, so you already knew that chord when I got to you, right? So chord of B flat, this one, B flat major, right? But you know the way B flat is the same as A sharp, right? A sharp is 1 up from A, B flat is 1 down from B. Same thing, right? If you look at the chord of A major that is, well, if you just take these 2 here, free up your index finger, take this up a fret, so there's your A chord, and we're bringing it up to an A sharp chord. And there's your B flat chord, right? So you see, so this is what I'm trying to get across. I don't want to just show you play this chord by putting this finger here and then this finger here and then this. No, that's not the point. The point is, how does all of this stuff work together? That's what I want to get across to you. Okay, one more was E flat, chord of E flat. Okay, what's another name for E flat? D sharp. Because we don't really have an E major chord on the ukulele. E major is kind of an awkward one on the ukulele, right? But we do have a D, right? E flat is D sharp. So if we take our D chord, again, without the first finger, and there are easier ways to do this, but I'll show you this one for now. There's D, take it up a fret, and this up a fret. Now, as it happens, so there's a D chord, up 1 fret, that's D sharp. Now, as it happens, you don't actually, when we're up here on D sharp, we don't need to hold this one. More on that later, okay, on why it is. So what we can do is we can just use that for our E flat chord. So open, 3rd fret, 1st fret is E flat. Okay, so got 3 new chords, but more to the point is how chords work and how you can figure out your own chords without looking anything up. Okay, so you got that and the solo, so plenty to do, so get after it. See you next time.